Big concerns over large gatherings on boats on Lake Monroe. I'm Stephanie Wade with those images just ahead.
One of the things that I thought I was going to be a problem was when I walk around is just seeing people with no mask.
College students adjusting to changes and safety measures during the pandemic. Tonight, we are taking you to Marian University, where students walk us through how the semester is going so far. And as we celebrate all workers on this Labor Day, there are multiple chances this week for you to join the labor force. More than 100 jobs in the restaurant and grocery industries need to be filled. We have all those details.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 5, streaming now.
First at 5 on this Labor Day, tracking a line of thunderstorms across Indiana that are bringing some much-needed rain. But will we all benefit? Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory joins me in studio on this WRTV Storm Team Alert Day. Yeah, and you saw some sunshine this morning, but then it definitely got a lot cloudier through the afternoon.
Especially northern half of the state, and it's kind of a split deal. The best chance for any thunderstorms remains from Indy north to the south. You'll probably stay dry. Okay, the thunderstorms have not been severe. They've been strong. I'll make that distinction here in a second. Through midnight, the most likely time for thunderstorms to continue. The threat for severe storms remains low. Strong wind and heavy rain would be with the strongest storms. One of those is near Winchester now in Randolph County. There's the storm between Fountain City and Winchester. A severe storm has 58-mile-per-hour winds or stronger. This is likely to have 40 to 50-mile-per-hour gusts, some small hail as well. The tail of that goes into eastern Henry County near Newcastle. Okay, another downpour, Tipton to southwest Grant County near Marian. That's crossing I-69 before long between Marian and Anderson. Other rain from Clinton County down from Frankfort to Lebanon. And this is what I'm talking about. Notice what's not happening in the southern half of the state. Between now and 9 o'clock, again, the chance for thunderstorms. These will be hit and miss, but from I-70 to the north will be the chance that's a little bit higher for thunderstorms. I think the threat then fades away. There's your fairly narrow area where marginal or low risk for severe storms exists. We'll talk about why tomorrow and Wednesday stick out in the 7-day forecast coming up.
Indiana University is investigating after photos and a video posted to social media show large gatherings on boats Friday on Lake Monroe. WRTV's Stephanie Wade shares what is being done and why officials are so concerned about images like these.
Health experts have warned Labor Day weekend could lead to a possible spike in COVID-19 cases, much like the 4th of July. And images like these on social media are worrying some. These photos shared with WRTV show young people crowded on 3 double-decker rental boats Friday. Indiana University is aware of the situation. Chuck Carney, a spokesperson for Indiana University, says it's not clear if the people on the boats are IU students, but Carney says there will be possible sanctions against students who violate the university's directives on unsafe large gatherings off campus. Those sanctions include suspension or expulsion. Indiana conservation officers are also working with the IU Police Department to mitigate the situation. And while many boats are out today, people we spoke with say they're keeping their distance from others outside their groups.
I'm nobody to judge. I'm not the police. Everybody do what they want, and I tied up with some people, and I'm not scared. But we wasn't a bunch of us either.
Just me and my husband. Kids are back at school and we're having our own fun.
Stephanie Wade, WRTV.
The Lake Monroe Boat Rental Company released a statement saying in part, quote, on Friday, we had a group of student-aged renters that violated our COVID-19 policies and attracted the attention of our community. Before the boats went out, we addressed the drivers and renters, letting them know they were not allowed to meet with or tie up to other boats on the water. One of our staff went and checked on the groups midway through the day and reported back that a group of double-deckers were tied up to each other. We acted immediately within the scope of our abilities, and the individuals that were tied up forfeited their deposits and had their remaining 2020 reservations canceled and refunded. College students are having to adjust to a lot of changes this year due to the pandemic. At many schools, there are no football games, events are canceled, and students have to follow a list of safety precautions. Tonight, our Nicole Griffin is checking in with students at Marian University in Indianapolis to see how they are feeling just weeks into the fall semester.
When Marian University closed in March due to the pandemic,
It's kind of like a shock to me. I'm like, what's going on?
students like Marcus Taylor thought it would just be a few weeks and things would be back to normal.
Schools around you shut down. All over the country, things are shutting down. Then next thing you know, you're at home.
Now, as he starts the fall semester in his 4th year at Marian, he's adjusting to even more changes.
So I was expecting to see a lot of people without masks on. Well, that wasn't the case. I show up and everybody has masks on. You know, cleaning spaces when we use them in a classroom, making sure we're all spread out. People filling out their Campus Shield apps, which was another thing that we did that was kind of really cool. Saves you a lot of time.
Before arriving on campus each day, students have to complete a self-assessment. If they are cleared, they receive a badge on their phone to enter classrooms for up to 24 hours. University President Dan Elsner says they spent the last several months preparing to reopen, budgeting $1.5 million to be able to welcome students back to campus.
I would say there's been just a constant pressure strain, kind of like and I don't need more weight, but about 20 pounds on your shoulder every day thinking about the options and variables moving forward, because you knew it was the best thing to do, but do it in a smart, caring, safe manner.
Despite all of the precautions in place, 34 students have tested positive for COVID-19 this semester. 21 have already been released out of isolation.
In life, you grow through challenges. You don't ask for them, you get them. And as a community, we have a big vision on being transformational leaders. And all the while, I kept using that vision as a way to, this is a time to live out our vision. This is a time to live out our values. And you can't cower and you can't stay at home and say it's got us down. You've got to say, how can we move forward?
Marian has also adjusted its schedule, eliminating fall break. And after Thanksgiving break, students will return home until the spring semester starts in mid-January. Working for you, Nicole Griffin, WRTV.
Marian University serves about 5,000 students. Only around 1,000 live on campus. They are offering 5 different ways to attend class, including in person, online, remote, hybrid, or high flex, which gives students the option to attend online or in person. New numbers from the state health department show Indiana's number of positive cases has now topped 100,000. New positive cases reported today are 596. Those results were all recorded yesterday. The overall positivity rate remains steady at 8.8%. An additional 4 COVID deaths were also reported. They occurred on Saturday and Sunday. That makes the statewide total 3,144. Starting at midnight, bars and nightclubs in Marion County can reopen at reduced capacity. Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett is allowing them to reopen at 25% capacity indoors and 50% outdoors. Bar top service will still be closed and no dancing or live entertainment will be allowed. Customers must be seated at tables with no more than 6 people. Everyone is required to wear a mask when they are moving around and while not eating or drinking. Also tomorrow, the closures on Mass Ave and Broad Ripple Avenue will end. Portions of those streets have been closed for weeks as a way to give restaurants more seating during pandemic restrictions. While drivers will be allowed back on the busy strips, the Department of Public Works says businesses that have expanded seating into parking spaces may continue to use it if they are protected by concrete barriers. A new look is coming to East Market Street downtown between Delaware and Alabama Streets. The Department of Public Works expects to close Market Street tomorrow to begin work on a long-term project to improve the pedestrian area between City Market and the City County building. The $7.4 million project is expected to take about 14 months to complete by late 2021. The design includes a raised pedestrian crossing between the CCB and City Market, additional vehicle parking, drop-off spaces, and bicycle parking. Starting tomorrow, southbound traffic on Alabama and northbound traffic on Delaware will remain open, but traffic lanes will shift to accommodate construction. Market Street traffic will be diverted to Ohio Street during the closure. A heads up for Northside drivers. Citizens Energy says expect to see lane restrictions on Meridian Street this week as they continue to make improvements to the wastewater system, specifically manholes. Lane restrictions will be on Meridian from 40th to 43rd Streets. In addition, both 40th and 43rd Streets will be closed to through traffic between Illinois and Pennsylvania Streets. Work is expected to begin after tomorrow and last approximately 1 week. Metro Police are investigating a deadly shooting involving young adults on the north side of the city. It happened this morning near 38th and Graceland Avenue right around 2 a.m. 5 people were shot during a gathering at a home in the area. 1 man died of his injuries and another is in critical condition. Police say the uptick in gun violence is disheartening and urge people to start speaking up.
This neighborhood, there are good, hard-working people. I myself used to live in this neighborhood. And I know that people are good people here. The police department, we need the community's assistance so that we can hold those folks accountable. If things like this don't shake you, I don't know what will.
Metro Police tell us tonight no arrests have been made. There have been more than 160 homicides in the city since the start of 2020. New developments tonight in the deadly 2018 duck boat tragedy that claimed the lives of 9 Indianapolis family members. A federal judge in Missouri has recommended that federal criminal charges be dropped over the sinking of the duck boat that led to a total of 17 deaths. The captain, operations supervisor, and on-duty manager for the boat were all indicted. But a federal magistrate says the lake near Branson, Missouri, where the boat went down, is not considered a navigable waterway under federal law. He says the case should be handled in Missouri State Court instead. A final decision has not been made. 9 members of the Coleman family from Indianapolis were among those who died in the accident. Still ahead on WRTV, the Colts have a way for you to see the home opener in sweet style. How you can sign up straight ahead. Have you been working from home this year due to COVID-19 and thinking you can cash in on your taxes? We have new info you should see before you count on that write-off.
And strongest storms right now between Richmond and Winchester, some 40 to 50 mile per hour gust, heavy rainfall. That tail goes all the way back toward Newcastle. We'll talk about what's ahead tonight and for the week coming up.
The Colts plan to release specific information this week about health and safety procedures for 2020 home games. This will include requirements for fans and employees. This follows Friday's announcement that up to 2,500 fans will be allowed at Lucas Oil Stadium to attend the team's home opener Sunday, September 20th against the Minnesota Vikings. Meanwhile, the Colts are holding a drawing for one lucky fan to win a private suite for up to 6 people for the home opener on the 20th. You can enter through Saturday, September 12th. The winner will be selected on the 14th. Just go to Colts.com/countdownsweeps to enter. On this Labor Day, we have information on job opportunities to allow more Hoosiers to join the labor force. Kroger plans to hire more than 150 people in northern Indianapolis and Hamilton County this week. There are openings at 2 stores in Indianapolis, 1 in Carmel, 3 locations in Fishers, and 2 in Westfield. A job fair will take place Wednesday at the Kroger Training Center in Indianapolis. That's at 8040 Castleaway Drive from 10 until 3. Open positions include pickup clerks, bistro clerks, meat cutters, cake decorators, overnight clerks, and more. For more info, look for this story at hiringhoosiers.com. Tomorrow, Lou Malnati's will hold the first of 2 hiring events this week for its new Carmel location. This will be the first Indiana restaurant for the legendary Chicago Deep Dish Pizzeria. It is set to open in October at 11435 Spring Mill Road, Suite 170. That is where hiring events will take place tomorrow and Thursday from noon to 6 both days. For more info, look for this story at hiringhoosiers.com. If you are working from home, you have probably bought up some new things to help accommodate your new situation, or you're probably using more of the resources you already pay for. If you're planning to write those off on your taxes next year, reporter Julio Avila from our Scripps station in Norfolk talked with an expert about what you need to know before you try to itemize.
There are no tax benefits to working from home if you are an employee.
This as a result of more people working from home.
So I've had people ask, can we since I work from home, do I get to deduct my office now?
So take, for example, that laptop you may have bought that cost a couple of hundreds of dollars, the rent, or even certain utilities. Just to name a few examples, all of these expenses you cannot write off.
The Tax Act a few years ago got rid of tax break for employees. If you are self-employed and now instead of going to your office, you're working from home, you can deduct the portion of your home that you're using as your office.
And for those homeschooling their kids this year, it's the same scenario. A tax write-off normally reduces the amount of tax that you owe.
I do think there will be folks who try to claim these expenses when they itemize or as some sort of other miscellaneous deduction, and they're just not going to be allowed.
And if you do,
they may get a letter from the IRS at some point saying, hey, you owe us some money.
Reinhardt suggests to track your expenses, organize those receipts, and utilize free tax resources online, as well as the IRS.
Otherwise, that's why it always makes sense to, if you have a more complex tax situation, have a professional take a look at it.
In Norfolk, Julio Avila.
Well, good to know. We have Kevin Gregory joining us in studio today, and a little bit of shake-up in the weather department.
Change on the way. Does it feel like the unofficial end of summer?
Sort of.
Yeah.
We're almost there.
The summer that never was, in a lot of ways. September 22nd is the first official day of fall. So we've got some summer-like temperatures on the way, and there you go. Cold drinks, some shorts. Just relaxing on this day where we did not have any downtown Indy downpours. It's been a different story to the north, but Mass Ave was alive with folks enjoying temperatures around the 80 to 85 degrees and dry conditions. Lafayette, you were in the 70s all day because of the cloud cover and thunderstorms and nearly half an inch of rain. Yesterday, you had 4,200, so you've had quite a bit of rain compared to the rest of central Indiana. Kokomo's at 70. That's a rain-cooled 70 degrees, the same for Muncie. Look what happens when you don't have any rain. Check out Greenwood, and Bloomington is the warm spot, foreshadowing where we're all headed for tomorrow and on Wednesday. As you look at the radar, north of Indy, there's some thunderstorms. We'll get to that in a second. These have been the strongest storms, 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts from Newcastle over to Hagerstown. That will move east into Wayne County, probably staying just north of Richmond. Fountain City now with lots of lightning, heavy rainfall. You just had a thunderstorm roll through Muncie. Then we've got this area along 421, just to the southeast of Frankfort, toward Tipton, then Marian to Alexandria and Elwood, some downpours there. Chance of thunderstorms from Indy north, about 40% in any one spot, 67 for the low. Pick this up at 11 o'clock. There are the thunderstorms basically from west to east, moving to the east, but the line will drift to the north. And once it does that, it sets a stage, I think, for several dry days in central Indiana and warm days because of a south wind tomorrow. That will keep the humidity up, the temperatures pushing 90 degrees. May hit 90 in Terre Haute and Bloomington, 89 in the metro area, looking at 87 north of Indy. Let's switch gears, take it to Wednesday. What changes? Not much. Temperature still in the upper 80s. The wind will be light and any chance for rain minimal, not expecting rainfall. Temperatures to the south midweek right at 90 degrees. The warmer it feels, though, tomorrow and Wednesday, the better it will feel as we get to Thursday and Friday as cooler temperatures start to return. There's your Thursday high at 81 with a mixture of clouds and sunshine. Again, between now and midnight, the most likely time for thunderstorms. Few of these may have gusty winds, an isolated severe storm possible. Then should be dry the next several days, probably the rest of the work week, with temperatures peaking close to 90 Tuesday and Wednesday. We're in the upper 70s to around 80 Friday through Monday of next week. Weekend thunderstorms, possibility, 40% chance for some thunderstorms and 80 degrees, both Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. This may sound a little weird, but Gatorade wants to study people's sweat to develop the next generation of sports drinks. The company wants a better understanding of how athletes sweat and how much electrolytes they lose. Gatorade would then use the information to develop products. The company plans to launch a line of patches people can wear that transfers information about sweat and sodium levels to an app. The patches are expected to be released next year. Well, this nun probably shed a few drops of sweat while running a marathon, but it's how she did it that makes her so unique. We have her story right after the break on WRTV News at 5. Welcome back. We want to remind you that WRTV is raising money right now to ensure kids in low-income households have books of their very own. We are asking you to donate to our If You Give a Child a Book campaign. Donations will be accepted through Friday. Just go to WRTV.com/giveabook for details on how to donate. She's the nun on the run and going nowhere. A Chicago nun is the first woman to complete a marathon on a treadmill, and she did it for a very good cause. Meet Sister Stephanie Baliga of the Mission of Our Lady of the Angels. Her original goal was to run the 26.2 miles during the course of the Chicago Marathon as a fundraiser to help the West Side Chicago community that their mission serves. But then the marathon was canceled due to the pandemic.
I was like, I'm so sure they're not going to cancel the race that if they cancel the race, I'm going to run a marathon on a treadmill. It was kind of like a thing I said, you know what I mean? So yeah. Then they canceled the race. And so here I am running a marathon on a treadmill. So that's kind of how it happened. It was kind of not exactly planned or anything, which is why all this media has been absolutely hilarious and makes me laugh and makes me so happy because it's all God and it's not me.
Well, Sister Stephanie raised nearly $95,000 and completed the marathon in just over 3.5 hours. She's been a runner for years, beginning at age 9 and continuing into high school and college. Very cool to see what she did. Still ahead on the news at 5:30, COVID-19 car scam. It happened to a young mom, and now she's out more than $1,000. You can make sure this does not happen to you.